I recently told you my most overrated horror movies of 2024, which is up there somewhere. But today I'm going to tell you my most underrated horror movies of 2024. Just like before, guys, these most underrated horror movies aren't necessarily the best films of 2024, but they're also not the worst films of 2024 because they're underrated, which would mean that people didn't really like it, but I enjoyed them. None of these movies are considered the best, I don't think, and none of them are considered the worst. I also don't think. First up, we've got Immaculate. Now, this one was overshadowed by The First Omen, mainly because they've got similar premises to them, and they definitely do. There's a lot of similarities between both movies, and I don't really know which movie I like better. Sometimes I'm going towards The First Omen, sometimes it's Immaculate, but I think The First Omen usually wins with the general audience because it has a background to it, whereas Immaculate doesn't. It's a fresh new movie on its own, and I commend them for that, first of all. But I think the issue with Immaculate for some people is it looks a lot cheaper than a film like The First Omen, which wouldn't be normal because that film would have cost a lot more than Immaculate. And I'm always comparing the both movies because that's what people do. But I think one of the biggest issues with this film is Sydney Sweeney. Now, I think Sydney Sweeney is a good actress, and I think she gave us possibly the performance of her life so far in Immaculate. But there are people out there that don't like the actress, so whatever she's in, they're automatically going to say, I don't like that movie. And then you get your social media trolls that will go on and join that cult, and they'll say, film is rubbish, Sydney Sweeney's in it, so it must be bad. And I can understand why people would think that. There are some actors and actresses out there that I don't watch the movies because I have no interest in them. So I get what they're saying, but I would never go into social media to say I don't like the movie if I've genuinely not seen it. So I gave this movie a chance. I know that there's some people that don't like her. I gave it a chance because I like her. But not only was I pleasantly surprised in the film, I was pleasantly surprised in her performance and the twists and turns that went on throughout the movie. And then we got the ending of the film that I was like, well, that was a really good payoff. Next up, we've got Salem's Lot from 2024, of course. And this one had nothing but bad things on social media, not just when the movie came out, but the production hell that this film went through. It got shelved for a couple of years as well. Usually when a film is shelved for over a year, then there's obviously something that they're trying to hide. And I thought that going into the movie, as I started watching it, I thought, is there something that they've been trying to hide for over a year? But no, when I watched it, yes, the story itself is not fully coherent. You can tell there's things that were cut out from the film just to shorten the running time of the movie, which hindered the film. Again, I'm not saying this film's great, but I think when you read the reviews online, when you read the build up to the movie, I was expecting a disaster piece. It's certainly not a masterpiece, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. When you watch the film as well, the production value is actually top notch. Now, there's some issues throughout the film. The CGI is not the best, but the CGI is not the worst. The acting's really good in the movie as well. So there's a lot of things in the film I thought to myself, what are people complaining about? I just can't see it, other than possibly the script not being fully tight and obviously the choppy parts of the movie due to trying to cut it down. But apart from that, I just don't see where all the problems are. Lastly, we've got Speak No Evil. The reason I've left this at last is because I feel this one is the most underrated film of 2024. And it's simply because it's a remake. A lot of people don't like remakes. Some people don't watch remakes because they're against remakes for some reason. But I believe that when you bring out a remake to any film, whether it be a horror movie, action movie, whatever you say, someone's always going to have a problem. But at the same time, when you bring out these remakes, you're also shedding light on their originals as well. I wouldn't have watched the original Speak No Evil if it weren't for the remake. Now, I've watched both of them very close together. I watched the remake first, really enjoyed that, went back and watched the original, and I really enjoyed that as well. If I had to choose out both of them, I would say the remake is a lot better than the original. Now, the original was more bleak, and that was the original intention, to make it bleak, and it done its job. But watching the remake, I thought to myself, it's almost like an alternate reality because this couple we're taking family after family, and I always put it into that bracket where let's pretend it's a semi-sequel to the original, and this is the moment they get caught, because eventually this couple has to get caught, and that's what they've done with Speak No Evil, the remake. Now, it is very Hollywood style. The woman in the family is the girl boss. She's a savior. She saves the day. I get that. I know that's a problem, and I saw that as a problem in the movie. The men are weak and the women are strong. That's what Hollywood try to churn out all the time, and it's obvious what they're trying to do. But I put that aside, and I still enjoyed the movie because the acting in the film was tremendous from everyone. The look, the atmosphere, the location, everything about this movie was top notch. So when I read the comments online, when I read the reviews online, I can only think to myself, it's because they're making this girl the girl boss and they're making the man weak. I get it. Also, the Hollywood style ending that they get, I get it as well. But if you watch the movie for what it is, it's certainly nowhere near as bad as what people are saying. So that is my most underrated horror movies of 2024. Similar to the first one that I've done with the overrated ones. I did say in the overrated video that I won't be doing the worst horror movies of 2024 because it offends some people. But with the most underrated horror movies, I will be doing an extra video, which will be the top horror movies of 2024. I always celebrate the best of the year, so I'll be doing a video on that shortly as well. But if there's any other horror films of the year, guys, that you feel need a little bit more love and attention and you feel are very underrated, leave that list down below. But as always, tell me what you think of my 3 choices as well. Do you think or agree with me that they're also underrated? Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!